This time on Roadkill, 13 years of burnouts finally catches up with us.
The Roadkill Raunchero is back and going to prison. Where we are now is the secret stash of Motor Trend vehicles. At one time, there were 220 leftover cars in here from all the different shows.
But here's the thing. We've been told to clean our room, so to speak, and in order to make space for any new junk, we have to find a new home for some of our old junk. So in this episode, we're unofficially retiring one of our favorites, giving it one last adventure before parking it in a new joint where any of you can enjoy some visitation rights. And the car that's getting its final road trip is the one that started it all.
The Raunchero. The Raunchero is actually like our oldest car that you and I have worked on together on the show.
Yeah.
It's a '68 Ford Ranchero with a basic 302 that we've had for more than 13 years.
This was our first road trip right here.
It was. Yeah, if you don't know this story, which I think hardcore fans do, the very first episode that we ever shot was driving this car and we wanted to go to Alaska. And we ended up in the bottom of the Grand Canyon instead. Totally failed, didn't make it to Alaska. And at the time, we thought to ourselves, we can't fail on our very first episode. And so we didn't air it. We shot something else really fast. And then this car, the Raunchero, was the second one. Eventually, we did make it to Alaska with this car, which was really, I think, one of our greatest feats ever.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. If you are looking at the car and wondering, why is it all painted up like that? It's actually pretty faded now. When we first did it, it was all nice and fresh. It is a tribute to a car that Ack Miller and Ray Brock ran in the very first Mexican 1000, which is the race that became the Baja 1000. And they were racing for Hot Rod Magazine, and they won their class. And so I got this one and cloned it. But anyway, we're gonna hit the road on it again. We're in Gardena, California right now, and we're pointed to Montana. There.
We have a little bit more than 1,100 miles to cover in just a few days.
Sounds okay.
Oil pressure. Does it have a brake pedal?
Yeah.
Yeah? All these cars sit for so long, we never know what to expect when we get back in them.
Okay, let's drive to Montana. We have drive. Do you think we should have checked the tires for air?
I think we should have checked oil, ATF, anything.
We're doing this. We're out. It was too easy.
So far easier than expected.
Yeah.
Wow, this is way above average for us.
This is impressive.
We talked a little about the history of this car, but I haven't told you specifically. It's a '68 Ford Ranchero. When we first put it together, it had a 363 cubic inch small block in it. It's now a 302. It has a Gearstar C4 in it. I remember when it used to have a really high stall converter, but I think we changed that. The rear end gear is 278. It's a Ford 8-inch with a highway gear in it. So we don't need overdrive in order to cruise. When we were going to Alaska, we totally cold prepped this thing. It's got Dynamat in the ceiling and in the floors. It had a killer heater, which is, I noticed, now disconnected for some reason. It's kind of a bummer because it still doesn't have a passenger glass.
Yeah.
That was a great scene when the glass broke. It really was.
By this time, it was about 0 degrees out. I slammed the car door and the passenger side window exploded into like a billion pieces.
You were quite annoyed with me at the time.
I was.
All I did was close the door.
But it was funny.
Yeah, this thing, the seat back and the seat bottom are completely blown out, and it's almost like the seat's reclined. It's kind of nice, actually. I can roll like this.
All right, it's 4.5 miles to 605 North. Our next highway is 210. If you get off here at Irwindale, this is where Irwindale Drag Strip used to be, right where the brewery is here.
Looks like it's starting to rain.
And as usual, stopping at the AutoZone to stock up. We need some Duralast wiper blades, and we usually get a road tool kit as well. As a reminder, we're going to Montana, which involves cruising through places like Idaho, Utah. I didn't expect the snow to come in California, but we just froze, man. And there's still no window in this thing. But you know what? You can always count on Mike Finnegan to heat things up. Bring the sunshine, Mike.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's all torque converter. Yeah! I thought I could count on you, but that was a fail. Is this where we stayed with the lowrider and ate at Denny's in the casino 3 mornings in a row?
We hit Las Vegas. That's 280 miles today without any major hiccups. But this is the Raunchero, so the only gambling we're doing is seeing if this thing will make it another 860 miles. Happy day from Las Vegas, Nevada. We found out last night that the Raunchero will cruise easily 90 miles an hour all day long as you don't want headlights or windows.
Allegedly.
What do you want to fix first? You know what, let's move the electric fan switch inside the car so we can turn this on and off from the convenience of the driver's seat.
Oh, so by extension, does that mean you want to control the lights from inside the car too?
Well, no. That's less of a thing to me, actually.
Oh,
The
okay.
headlights you can always just turn on because at night you just leave them on.
Right.
But the fan, you need to turn on and off every single time you park the car for lunch or whatever.
Oh, this is mid-level lazy. Because like full lazy, which is what I was going to go with, was just put a switch in here for the headlights right next to that switch. But you are saying move the fan switch in the car, but Mike, go ahead and just put a switch for the headlights under the hood.
That's correct.
That's mid-level lazy.
Yeah.
I can get down with that. Sure.
All right, let's dig in. Electrical stuff. I need cutters.
You ready, David?
Try it.
Engage fans.
All right, super messy but functional.
Fan off.
Not proud. Power comes out of the battery into this fuse.
Yeah.
Out of this
That
fuse.
seems to be working. I tested it.
Into this. Both of these yellow ones are power coming from the battery.
Okay, that's a ground,
Okay.
which means that's in there.
This big switch should be the lights. Okay, there's no power at any of the wires to the back of this switch.
What color are the wires? Is it one of the many?
All black. That doesn't make sense either.
So,
2 of them are black with white stripes and 1 of them is just black.
Trying to get some driving lights on the thing. We're actually skipping trying to make the factory headlights work and going to the driving lights. There's aftermarket switches under here, but like everything's wired in red. It's all weird. Right now, we think the relay might be ground triggered, and so I've got a ground wire that I'm gonna shove in the connector, and Mike's gonna see if the lights go on.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Now?
Dude! No, doesn't work.
So, not ground triggered? None of that sparked though, so there's no power, so it's neither power nor ground. Let's just run all new switches. Troubleshooting all of this mess is gonna be a time suck.
So then, tell me if, I hear a relay clicking.
Yep,
Both of them?
yep.
Nice.
We're totally just field repair butchering the wiring here. There's no neatness involved. And in doing that, the reason why we're making these lights work instead of the factory headlights is because we already have a relay like wired up for those lights. You can't just run factory old car headlights through like a 16 gauge wire. It's gonna burn it up, and the modern switches that you can buy tend to be garbage also, and they'll just fry. All right, done with that butchery. Moving on to making the windows work. I'll pay you $100 if you put the glass in, make it work, and then slam the door and shatter it.
What makes you think you gotta pay me?
When we shattered the window out of this thing, we actually loved the car, and I found a junkyard that had another window. I think I bought it on eBay or something like that. Let me just get the glass in there, and then I can get it up in position. All
Okay, can you lower the glass onto that? One there. Perfect. Oops.
No way. After all these years.
Ta-da!
Passenger side window.
That is a historic roadkill moment.
Wow. This window is ridden around in the bed of this thing for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And finally in there.
Fixed it in a parking lot in Las Vegas.
This place really is lucky. Let's just stay here another day. I mean, clearly nothing bad can happen. This calls for a victory celebration, David. The cry of the bison. Oh, it doesn't work again. Maybe it has to be running.
Oh, I hear the bison horn.
Oh, there we go.
Bison horn.
It's working.
Won't go all the way up. The regulator is like tilted.
You got it up higher than it went before. You're there, dude. Whoa, I thought it was gonna break.
Would have been great. Turns out this window regulator is not everything we hoped that it would be. The front half of it doesn't really operate great, and I'm not gonna restore it here in the parking lot. So we've got the window held up, and I'm taping it up, and we're gonna go. That's as good as that's gonna get. We're out of here. I think we're gonna go check out the Valley of Fire.
And we're off.
1.5 miles to Craig Road. We stay on this all the way to the Valley of Fire State Park exit. Well, this is pretty cool. Valley of Fire State Park in Nevada, just outside Las Vegas. It's pretty similar to like the Moab area, but it's much craggier. It's petrified sandstone. That's called Valley of Fire because I'm sure when the sun gets low in the sky and the sunset really orange, the rocks look like fire.
I bet it's incredible looking. You're right, like these rocks, similar color to Moab, Utah, but they're not as smooth.
Right.
I wonder why that is. Man, this is cool looking.
At this point, we're almost 500 miles into this final trip, and honestly, we're starting to love the Raunchero again. There are just so many memories in this car. It's also been pretty reliable and pretty comfy by our standards, but that can always end at any minute.
Welcome to Utah.
Cedar City, Utah. Things have been going remarkably smoothly, so today I think we're gonna rough it up just a little bit, go back to our roots, and I found a private collection of 2,000 to 3,000 old cars.
I like this person, whoever they are, already.
So we're gonna check that out. You ready to drive again?
Yeah. It's pretty bumpy. Yeah. There is kind of racetrack here, though. Should we try it? It slides good.
We're gonna take 15 north for a while. This thing does cruise.
It's deceptive. Most times I don't know how fast I'm going, and then I'm told I'm doing allegedly 95.
Yeah. A friend of a friend owns this secret stash, which is like 10 acres of nothing but great old cars. Couple
Another
javelins.
Another javelin.
3. This is a private collection, not a junkyard. It started in the 50s when this guy's dad ran a tow operation. He said, go off over that way to the left. And they just started stacking up old cars here, and they're still here. And because it's a private collection, it's not all parted out. You know, when I was a teenager going to pick your part, this is almost exactly what the inventory looked like. There's a lot of complete vehicles here. He said some of it might be for sale.
Really?
Ooh, wow.
Datsun Z car.
That's a 240Z.
Yeah, because of the Datsun.
Dude.
This is the best yard ever.
All right, I'm shopping now. Wow. I'm guessing that's in the not for sale pile.
Never hurts to ask.
There is a 69 Charger. How often do you see a 69 Charger sitting in any kind of wrecking yard anymore? There's two of them.
Oh, there's another Challenger right there. Is it a blue one?
Yep.
Here's a Maverick.
Oh, and a Rabbit. I like the Maverick too. Look at that cop car.
Yeah,
A Castledale Police Grand Fury. Ooh, Gremlin.
Yeah.
I guarantee it does not have the fuel count. Let's look.
Let's find out.
And no, it does not. They never do. Look at that GTO.
That is a GTO.
All right, I'm gonna go look at the GTO.
I'm gonna leave the fan on.
We have been driving around this place a lot. There's so many great cars here. The thing that is like the mind blower is that everything is complete. There's so many cars that could be made to run and drive. Just right here, you got a 68 442 next to a Cutlass S, next to what I think is a 72 regular Cutlass. But I stopped because I wanted to walk over here and have a look at this GTO. This is a 68. So this is the first year that the GTO went to sort of this rounded body style, which ran from 68 to 72. And they had the Endura front bumper. See how the whole bumper is hard rubber? This one's deteriorating really badly. That, when it came out, was a really big deal. And they had an ad with a guy standing in a studio talking like super manly voice about their new 68 GTO. And he had a chrome crowbar and he whacks the front of the car right on the beak and nothing goes wrong. And they just talk about how great the thing is. And there's another commercial that's similar where there's a bunch of guys wearing Motor Trend lab coats and they're walking through trying to bash the bumper and they can't hurt it. Well, my father was the producer of those TV commercials and he still owns the Motor Trend lab coat and the chrome crowbar.
Really?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yep, that almost means we have to take this home, right?
For no other reason, dude.
I don't know if I'm up for rescuing this. How about the Roadrunner? I don't need another Mopar, to tell you the truth. No, that's kind of hard to believe. However, we should probably go look at those two Chargers over there.
It would be weird not to.
It would be weird, and who knows? I might actually need one. Let's find out. I have a scheme for a GTO, which I think you will endorse.
I haven't even heard it. Let's get it.
I want to turn a GTO into a lowrider so I can call it the Scrapegoat.
I'm not with you.
Why not?
I'm not with you.
Why?
Because I love lowriders, but not a GTO.
Why? That's perfect for that.
Well, I get the name.
It's funny.
I totally get it.
And it'd be cool.
I don't think I could build that car based solely on the great name.
So stunning these days to see these cars in a yard. Wow. What we're looking at here is two 1969 Dodge Chargers. You must be aware the value of these has gone through the roof lately, and a 70 Dodge Challenger.
Wow, the interior's still in this one.
Yep. This has had a quarter panel put on it really poorly. Looks like I did that. You know what this is? This is junkyard gold. This is a neat car. This is a 1966 Chrysler 300. This thing is slick. Wow. It's still got the bucket seats, the white interior. Wow, this is nice. This would just be swank. Huh. It's like a 361 or a 3B3. Okay, hear me out on another scheme I've got.
Okay.
I want a Carmen Ghia with like a Roadster Shop chassis.
All right.
V8 in the front, trick chassis. More allowable than the lowrider GTO?
Yeah, because you didn't do it solely for a name. It guarantees at least a slightly longer attention span from you.
Well, we spent a couple hours driving around and walking around and seeing some pretty amazing cars here. There's a lot of good projects. I don't know if we're acquiring anything, at least not today, but you never know what could happen in the future as we drive past right now that 69 Charger that's really good. And so tonight we're off to Salt Lake City for the night. We've got another friend we're gonna visit there tomorrow. We just went over a mountain pass. It was 32 at the top. Apparently it's like almost 40 now, but it is cold in the Raunchero.
If we don't freeze to death by morning, our next stop is gonna be really bitchin'. In fact, we're gonna go see some guys who you probably recognize.
It was freezing last night, but we did make it all the way to Salt Lake City, and because we were nearby, we figured we needed to stop in for a little Motor Trend crossover with the guys from Bitchin' Rides. Yep, we're at Kindig Design with Dave Kindig and Kev Dog. How's it going, guys? I thought I'd bring this thing in for a little cut and buff. Can you, like, help us out, make it look good?
I've already been putting a list of things that we can do to this: a chassis, new motor, little paint, little polish. I think we're good.
Let's just get it in the shop. We'll start now.
I think we got one piece of glass that's good.
2 days, 2 days, that's our expectations.
2 days? 2 days, perfect.
This is a blast from the past, isn't it?
Yeah, this thing was the very first vehicle we shot for an episode 13 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and you guys are what, 10 years on Bitchin' Rides?
Yeah, 11,
yep.
almost 11, yeah, but yeah.
So you guys know each other from mini truck days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mike actually shot my very first mini truck for Mini Trucking Magazine.
Very poorly. The truck's green, but it looks more yellow based on my artistic abilities at the time. But I do remember writing a decent article for Mini
Hey,
Truck.
I was excited. It was the end-all be-all to me. That was my very first truck in a magazine, so I was like, it could have been purple, and I would have been happy with it.
Wow, that's cool. And if you're not familiar with this whole program, these guys just won the Riddler Award, which is a really prestigious thing at Detroit Autorama, and you guys have the vet in the trailer, right?
Yeah, we
Yep.
just got back from Salt Lake Autorama, so we actually got 11 cars actually still in the trailers and coming out slowly. So
So this car is completely hand-formed out of aluminum. It looks like a Corvette. There's no Corvette in it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nothing. They built the body of this thing by hand.
this is entirely
Yeah.
Ranchero with absolutely zero hand-fabricated parts on it.
That's right.
We did install the windows ourselves, and he pointed out that he liked the windows.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
this
did.
isn't even a real window.
It's being held in with gaff tape. You just don't know it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can we check it out?
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
go check it out. We can fit 3 cars in here, 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom. Then we have an apparel store inside of there, and then the lounge.
Yeah.
So, nice little escape.
Look at the brake.
The rotors are polished.
They're polished stainless, so they're actually functional. We'll actually use those. This has got so many trick pieces on it, guys. It's all aluminum. Obviously, it all started out as 4x10 sheets of 4041 aluminum, hand rolled out all in here. It's got a 3/8 thick monocog inside of the 2 pieces, the top and the bottom bodies.
Wow.
The V12 is from Racecast down in Australia.
Yeah, we've met those guys. The guys who make this V12 LS engine actually bought a car from Roadkill at one time. Look at that.
Yeah.
This car has so much more presence in person than it does in the photos.
And it's pretty cool in the photos.
Yeah.
I mean, the body style and stuff, it's actually kind of unfortunate it's not out on the ground right now because literally it's at belt height. It is crazy to see how low this top is.
All the suspension is hung off the engine. So you can see there's the upper control arm.
Yep.
There's a coil that's mounted just like that. That's what holds all the suspension, and the lower control arm is mounted off the oil pan.
Wow.
So it's
So
based on brand new
everything's
F1
hanging off the
technology,
engine.
basically single lateral coilover with the sway bar built into the lower link.
We took the alternator and the starter and we put them in the bell housing, so there's nothing on the side of the block. And then when we had Racecast cast the block, we had them take all the webbing off.
That's cool.
So it just has like 6 bumps on each side, so it's completely smooth.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really cool.
Man, this is just like the car in our next episode, but a little better. Is there even one zip tie on this car anywhere?
Yeah, there's some under
Yeah,
the
there's
dash.
some under the dash.
Under the dash?
Literally,
Okay.
there is one part on this car that's recognizable out of the box, and that's the Haltech CAN bus computer program to run the entire car. Everything else on the entire car has been custom built. The bottom of the car looks like a spaceship. It's just
Yeah.
really, really clean, trick. All of the hardware's triple square, polished stainless with EDM laser etching on the inside, so you can't see when you put a wrench in it that you've marred it or shined it up by putting compression on it.
We spent a few minutes out here looking at the 12 Air, the Riddler winning car. I gotta tell you, it's stunning. You think of me as being like a roadkill hack, but I spent so many years as the editor of Hot Rod Magazine having to judge vehicles like this, and I'm telling you, I've got a deep appreciation for it, even though we make jokes about zip ties and stuff like that. This is impressive. We're gonna go inside next and watch how they do these things.
You probably remember this
Yeah, I
car.
know
It's
this one.
really a nice car. Roadster shop chassis, LSX 454 with a Harrop Australian injection. We 3D printed, actually, the intake pieces. We've got a lot of really cool stuff here that we do, a lot of technology. So Faro 3D scanner, the Stratasys 3D printing, we've got CNC machines, we've got old school mills and lathes. So we build a lot of parts for all of these cars instead of just buying them and strapping them on.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's the difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we do ours too.
The first stop behind the showroom was in the body shop area.
This is the body shop. And basically, this is one of our paint booths. We have another one at the other end here. But everything in the shop starts with the rendering.
And the thing that's mind-blowing is all of these illustrations that Dave has done. They're all up here on the wall, and I understand they go back into the 90s. This is really where he comes up with his ideas for building the cars and comes up with concepts that he can show customers so that they know what they are gonna build. They sort of have a target, and then in the rest of the shop, it just starts to actually happen. Here in the body shop is where we also started to see the concept that they're building here that is the CF1 car. They sell them as roadsters and also as cabriolets. They come with a Lingenfelter 427 roadster shop chassis. The body appears to be an early Corvette, but they will custom tune these things and build them for you to drive.
So I only sell them as complete cars, deposits on all of them, and we sold 30 of them so far.
Yeah, you can see we got chassis stage, body stage.
Yep. Is that roadster shop stuff?
Yep. Even to this day, we still use the old school, you know, the mill and the lathe. These are just so handy to have. Most all of my guys know how to run all of this old school equipment as well as the new stuff. The technology, though, in the last 25 years in business, the technology has grown just immensely. I mean, we can just design something up, literally like the glass on the Riddler car. The windshield and the rear window, we literally designed that on CAD, send an email, and then we get the parts.
Really?
This is a 69 Super B. We're calling it the Killer B. Again, it's sitting on an independent chassis from Roadster Shop, custom floor from Roadster Shop as well. 6-speed manual transmission, 1,500 horsepower.
Schumacher.
Yep, it's a Schumacher.
I see the DSR on it.
This is gonna be badass right here. We're gonna build the ultimate 69 Camaro. We've moved the wheel wells forward 3 inches, 1 inch back on the back. I wanted to sink in the grille. I'm trying to create a new design of vehicle or a new category instead of resto mods. This is gonna be a mod rod. So a lot of the design elements like the RS headlights and that kind of stuff, I'm just trying to keep everything kind of Camaro-esque for 69, but yet sinking the taillight panel, sinking the grille 7 inches.
Let's go where the shiny stuff is.
Let's go that way. Got a dyno over here too. You guys probably get a kick out of that. Oh yeah.
You guys have a dyno?
Yeah.
Oh baby. So this is where we keep all the shiny stuff.
And finally, we went into the last assembly shop where the shiny stuff is. This is where the cars sort of get polished up, dyno tested, and then they actually drive every single customer car 100 to 150 miles to shake the thing down before they deliver it out the back door.
Yeah, so there's some pretty cool stuff in here. You know, the Camaro. We got Kevin Hart's Challenger over here. It's got the Elephant in it, Roadster Shop chassis again.
The shop's so much more than I thought.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to see the whole picture of it usually.
Yeah, it's a big
Right.
operation.
Yeah,
There's
it's a
a lot
big
of moving
operation.
parts.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no
awesome,
worries.
man.
Thank
Glad
you.
to see you guys. It's been
Pleasure.
fun.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming by.
Thanks a lot.
Best of luck on the rest of your journey.
We need it. We need it.
Hey, give us a call if you need any help on the way up there.
All right, we will.
I'll send a tow truck.
Yeah. It's interesting. That's like total crossover of both ends of the Motor Trend spectrum. Bitch and rides, super high end. Those CF1s, I asked him, if I want to buy one, how much is it? Walking in the door, $450,000. Then there's us, where
Buy high and sell low.
and we have just garbage and we cobble stuff together, but it's all just the car world. We're headed north into Idaho now. Oh, that's way better. I just killed a big breeze. I feel good.
Amazingly, we're more than halfway to our final destination, and the Raunchero's not even breaking down, and it rides remarkably well for a car that doesn't cost $450 grand.
Idaho! If you're a hardcore Roadkill fan, you will recall that this is the spot in the very first Ranchero episode where you shattered the window out of the passenger side of the car.
In my defense, I think that glass was already frozen when I shut the door.
Totally, I buy into that excuse.
And I know you're definitely not gonna drive through every one of these mud puddles before leaving this parking lot.
Nah.
We've got like 300 miles to go, so we figured we'd thrash around in a dirt lot.
Oh, wait, that's my side. Wait, it's still my side. Hold on a second here.
I said to Finnegan off camera, I know exactly what's gonna happen here. And it did.
Oh, dude. Hopefully we can get it off and fix it. Sometimes you pay the price for driving like an idiot. Hold on a second here. And now, Finnegan is paying the price for me driving like an idiot.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it looks like it's only popped off the outer bead. I think the inner one is on. Well, we stole the scissor jack out of the video crew's SUV, and we got a little air compressor, and I think we're gonna be able to just pop this bead back on.
Hey, it's making pressure. We're up to 10.
Oh, great. Hey!
30. All right, let's go.
Next stop, one of our favorite tourist destinations, an abandoned drag strip.
Hi. Well, we're rolling along here at the very end of the day near Pocatello, Idaho, and I found a little abandoned drag strip that I think that we can locate. I'm seeing it on my Google map view. It's off to our right here.
There's a tree line right here.
Yep.
And dirt road that's blocked right here.
Yep, here's the entrance right here. Found it.
Oh, that's a big drop.
Private property, no trespassing.
All right, that's better.
Well, it's the end of the day here and our first day in Idaho. And I thought I had found myself another one of our old abandoned drag strips that we like to visit, and I did, but no trespassing, so we're not gonna get to check it out. This is nearby Pocatello, Idaho, and this used to be a little 8th mile track called Drag City. I couldn't find a lot about it online, but I know it was running till at least 1995. There's a YouTube video of him running here. Drag City, you might recognize that from the Janadine album, circa 1964, and the song of the same name. That's actually for Drag City in Fontana, California. This one here, Pocatello, Idaho, and actually I think there's another Drag City in Ohio or something like that. All right, we're gonna call it for the night. We're gonna roll into where? Idaho Falls. We'll see you in the morning. This was nice.
Tomorrow, we're down to our final 280 miles with the Raunchero. If there's any reason to get rid of this car at this point, it's that it's too good for us. But I promise, it's going to a better home.
And now we're in Idaho Falls, Idaho.
So we've gone 1,000, we have 200 left.
It's about right.
I think we can do this in
230. Right.
One day. Oh, wow. That is abrupt.
Not much of a merge.
Ah. Right? To north?
Yep.
Okay. This is an aggressive interchange.
Raunchero. We are cruising the back streets of Dillon, Montana, which appears to be an old place that mostly built up in the 1880s.
Looks like a castle.
It says a library.
That's the library? The Andrus. That's cool looking.
A couple of those buildings built out of that rock. There must be a local quarry that makes that kind of rock.
That is cool. Beaverhead County Courthouse. Save the clock tower. Is that accurate? Does it work? Looks like 151.
Let's see. It's correct.
Nice.
Their clock works.
You know what that means? We can use that to go back in time because it still works. Wow. This looks like Main Street at Disneyland.
Except this really happened. Fuel Brothers.
Eliel?
Oh, Eliel Brothers.
I want to go in here just to shoot pool and have a beer.
Yeah, me too.
Have you ever been to a town that didn't have a Chinese food restaurant?
Oh, probably.
I can't think of one.
Probably at some point today.
Old Montana Prison and Auto Museum.
It is, in fact, a car museum inside a prison. How roadkill can you get?
Oh, dude. This is awesome.
Yeah.
We could just leave it here on the line.
We made it! 1,200 miles. Look at us.
How perfect is this? Yes, it is a car museum inside a former state prison. Perfectly roadkill. 1,200 miles later.
I can't wait to tour this place.
When you think old Montana prison, you don't necessarily think car museum, but they have a car museum here. And it's big and nice and lots of stuff, so we're gonna walk around and see what's what. Unbelievable. I had no idea how much stuff they had here and good stuff.
That's a lot of GTOs. Any CUDA?
AAR CUDA. This car is identical, other than it's a 4-speed, to one that a friend of mine had in high school. I used to ride around. We used to like street race these all the time. Just normal for 19-year-olds back in the day.
This looks like your car. But
That is a 69 Super B, and mine's a 70.
these are all owned by the same dude.
The same guy who owned the AAR later owned a 4-speed 7340 Dart just like this. I think it had a vinyl top, but it was otherwise just like that.
Was his name Sherm?
No,
Because
that's Sherm's.
this is Sherm's.
This is also Sherm's Superbird. Sherm Anderson is a former Montana senator who's also a bigwig around here, and a lot of the cars in here belong to him.
He's got an Eleanor. Mach 1, nice.
Interesting, you don't often see the Mustang Grande in a museum. That's Sherm's too.
This right here is my favorite of all the Mustangs. I've always wanted a Boss Mustang because when I was a kid, one of my neighbors had a Boss 429, and he said it was gonna be his kid someday, and I used to go back there all the time and just stare at this thing. Boss Mustangs, very cool.
I kind of appreciate that a lot of these look like bone stockers, but if you notice, they all have bigger engines in them. I think Sherm likes big power. The interesting thing is that the 55, 6, 7 Fords aren't as hot in like the hot rodding marketplace because Chevy came out with the small block Chevy in 1955. And that engine became popular, and so that car became popular, and that's why we see them more as like hot rods today, and the Fords kind of aren't.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a pretty cool museum. They got a lot of stuff here. REO Speedwagon.
It's not just a band.
It's not just a band.
Well, do you know what REO is?
The REO Motor Car Company.
Nope. What's REO and REO Speedwagon?
I actually don't know.
Ransom E. Olds, as in
Oh,
Oldsmobile.
Oh. The more you know.
Look,
This is an electric car back when they figured out that that wasn't a good idea.
How can you tell? Because it has light bulbs?
It's a Detroit Electric.
No, it says right here.
Yep. Hey, it says it went 211 miles on a charge.
So wait, this thing goes as far, if not maybe further than some new electric cars?
That's what that says. Then, sometime before World War II, America's most famous and long-lived electric car quietly disappeared from the automotive scene.
Someone probably got assassinated.
This is all way, way better than our Roadkill car. But here's the thing. The Roadkill car now lives here at the museum.
Yeah, we wanted you guys to be able to come see this. And my hope is that they don't wash it or restore it or fix the leaks, just right here.
Ever since Roadkill took off, I've had viewers ask me if we could start a museum of some kind to show our finest work. Here's a step in that direction, as you can now see one of the cars that started our show by visiting the Old Montana Prison and Auto Museum Complex in Deer Lodge, Montana. I think it was kind of a goal to have one of our fantastic beaters alongside a bunch of megabuck restorations, so go there and ask to see it. Meanwhile, Finnegan and I are off building new cars and new memories, just like we do on every episode of Roadkill.